you love someone, let them go.
I'm not fucking in love with you, Harry.
Well, then, exactly. And let's wrap it up.
Hey, all you wonderful subscribers and all you guests, welcome to the show. Today we are talking Perfect Match, Season 2.
Yeah, baby, Season 2. Here we
all
go.
the Netflix rejects on one show.
That's right. And,
So-
and evidently two dudes on this show have like slept with every Netflix woman, or so they claim. So
That's what they claim. And we have Ashley here with us today.
back in I was going to say Arkansas, back in Alaska.
You know, it's funny. I was home for 2 weeks and Netflix could not drop these shows while I was home for 2 weeks. So here I am back in Alaska.
All right, so what do we think about this cast, though? Who's the early favorites?
Well, like I said, man, it's always Netflix loves gathering all their rejects and throwing them together for some drama, man. So that's exactly what we got. So I mean,
what woman, what dude do you like?
I mean, as far as just like character and stuff, I'm you know, I like Elys. You know, I mean, I liked her in the other show. You know, when we watched that one, you know, I like her in this one. I think she was an idiot for freaking picking Harry. You know, and it came back to bite her in the ass as everybody knew it was going to. But you know, I liked her. And then when you got Izzy, of course, Izzy's a sweetheart. Everybody loves Izzy, but Izzy didn't belong in this show.
Does everyone love him?
You know, Izzy didn't belong in this show, man. He's a good dude. He is too nice of a guy for this show.
I think he's too old for this show.
Yeah, that too.
I like Izzy, and I was rooting for Izzy. I was a little, you know, whatever. I was rooting for him, but it was very apparent amongst all these like young guys that he didn't have game. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed with this cast, honestly. I like Elys and not much else. And Elys doesn't really do it for me as far as her looks, but
It's the character,
she seems
man.
like an awesome person.
Yeah.
And she definitely grew on me as the episodes went along.
Mm-hmm.
So Izzy, yeah, fish out of water on this show. I mean, he's just not fitting in.
Oh yeah, not at all. He did not belong here.
I had the exact opposite feeling about Elys. Like, I remember being mixed on Elys on her season of Too Hot to Handle. Like, I liked her, but like she's such a slow burn. She was very sexual on that show, but like didn't want to make a connection. And like with this one, you know, when she paired up with Harry, it was just kind of like, I don't know, she was taking it too slow, and he was obviously saying certain things, but then acting a different way. And it's like, well, if you're not giving him that affection and physical thing that he was desiring, he's obviously one that's going to go somewhere else to get it.
That dude was going to go somewhere else no matter what anyway. As soon as he saw freaking Jessica come out, I mean, Harry's a fucking dirtbag, period. I mean, the dude said he's on here for love. I'm here to find my person. And then he's constantly still looking for the next best thing. He's a fucking piece of shit.
He's an F-boy. I mean, he's a
exactly.
stereotypical F-boy. But
Oh,
it starts off with the dice game. What do you think about that?
The dice game was okay. I mean, you know, I don't think we got any real drama out of that, or like nothing too major.
Well, I mean, you know, Micah's doing body shots.
Yeah,
Well,
was she?
Given the body shot.
Yeah, I mean, she poured one like out of her freaking, you know, like out of the cleavage. She had her top on. She
Well, what the heck you wanted her to do?
The body shots are like you suck it out of the navel and shit like that. That's a body shot.
Okay,
you know?
all right.
You know, they weren't doing that in this. Right?
That's true,
So,
yeah.
You body shot, you suck it out of
She
the
didn't
navel,
have-
man. And
She
nobody
didn't
did
have
that.
the right clothing for that. That's
Yeah.
not her
But
fault.
she
She
still
wasn't
pulled the
prepared.
shirt up, whatever, man. It doesn't matter.
Well, what's his name? Stevan?
Steven.
Steven, yeah. He gets some toe action.
Yeah, he did.
Apparently
Sucked
big
on
on
the ex-chick's toe. What's her name? Xanthi, I guess that's her name.
Yeah.
Sucking on her toes. I like her, too. She's kind of cool. And
I like her a lot.
She,
Actually, that's another person.
yeah, and she's very reserved, you know. She ain't there to be, like, fuck around and do that
She's on the
kind of
wrong
stuff, you know?
show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's totally on the wrong show. Yeah, no doubt.
I'd seen her on the show. I've actually only watched, I think, 1, maybe 2 seasons of The Circle, and I happened to watch her season of The Circle, and I really do like her.
Yeah, she's cool. I out of the women, you know, is you know, we said Elys, and I like her too. I think she's cool.
Yeah. Would you suck someone's toe?
I'd suck her toe. Yeah. Why not?
What about you, Ashley? You let someone do that to you?
No, I have a weird thing with feet. It's a hard no for me.
It's a red line. But Brighton
Brighton.
and Dominique are the first match.
Yeah, Brighton's he's another
Squid
douchebag.
Game.
Like on Squid Game, we said how much of a douchebag he is, and we thought maybe it's just for that show, but no, he's just total douchebag. That dude came on this show with the same attitude. What a freaking douche.
Yeah, and I don't know what his plan is on this. I kind of liked him initially because he's kind of playful, but he doesn't know when to turn it on and off.
No, exactly. And he just and the dude likes arguing. He always wants to be right, and he just likes making people look bad. It almost seems like, right? Like, oh, you fucking, yoga's not a workout and this and that, and it's like, all right, dude, you don't got to keep carrying on and on about it.
I'm a little with him on that.
Yeah, I mean, I might be as well to an extent, right? But at the same time, it's like, who gives a shit, I mean, her body looks fine. She looks like she's in shape, so obviously the yoga's working for her. So
I have to say that when I was watching that entire argument, I'm like, oh my God, Josh is on the show. Like, Josh is sitting there having this argument with this chick. Like,
oh man, but yeah, he
may be a dirtbag, but he's right about the yoga. Yeah. I don't know what this is.
He's just an asshole, man. Dude's an asshole. Yeah, he kind of is like Josh. You're right.
But we got Izzy, and he's digging him some mica.
Yeah, he is.
If you had to give me game, what would it say?
Oh God. How are you?
I don't know.
This poor guy, man. I mean, I was cringing watching him like talk to her. I was like, oh, Izzy, what are you doing, bro? Like, yeah, he's like, I'm not trying to sound creepy. It's like, you're not doing a good job. I'm not sounding creepy.
He seems like he's a Micah super fan.
Yeah, he's totally a Micah super fan.
But yeah, it's not working.
No. It's having the exact opposite effect. And of course on camera she's trying to be nice. She's like, oh, Izzy's a sweetheart and yada, yada, yada. But he's too much of a nerd, which reminds me of my ex from the other show, so I can't do that,
Yeah, and she's into Kaz, and she's like, you want to match up? And he's like, let me see what my options are.
I got to play the field here, sweetheart.
So that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole Izzy Micah interaction was very cringe, and I really like Izzy. Like, I liked him on his show. I mean, he's obviously got some of his own issues and everything, but like, I think he's a genuine guy. Just, oh man, this is where the game came in. Like, he had no game, and he's just like, oh my God, fanboying, and almost coming across like a stalker. She's like, well, I guess I don't need to tell you anything about myself because you seem to know everything about me.
Yeah. And then Izzy pivots and matches with Tulu.
Tolu, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a weird pairing if you ask me, but she's kind of into it. And she's like, he's bald, I'm kind of bald, so let's put our brains together and mega mind this thing.
And Tolu, and we saw her, I mean, she was kind of a villain in the Trust, and but she in this show she seems a lot cooler. Right? I'm kind of liking Tolu so far in this show. She seems to be there for the right reason. Where a lot of these other people obviously aren't. And that's how it is in most in every season of this show. And most people aren't there for the right reason, and a couple are. And those couple usually end up getting let down. The few that are there for the right reason. She's going to be one of those, I think.
And Xanthi matches with Kaz.
Yeah. And talking about fuckboys, man, Kaz, like, that dude he's the most humble guy I've ever seen in my life. Nothing humble about that dude, man. The dude's talking about, a chick sent me a cookie saying best sex ever.
That's true.
I was like, oh, man, this guy.
Yeah, so this seems like a decent pairing maybe at first, but then you kind of learn Xanthi's kind of like reserved, so probably ain't going to work out.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, Kaz ain't digging that.
Yeah. And Elys and Harry match up.
Mm-hmm. And, now, and that's the thing, too, like in the very beginning, right, when all these women saw Harry walking through the door, they all had the dirt on him. They're all telling each other the dirt on him. And then Elys is still like, but then she's still like, oh, but Harry, man, he's so hot and this and that, and I'm going to give him a chance. I'm like, girl, she's going to bite you in the ass.
But she has her guard up.
Yeah, but she's got her guard up, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing about this show is you got to match, right? Or you go home at some point. So, like, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's true. For at least temporarily, right? So.
Yeah, and everyone matches here. There's not a person not matching. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a pity match. Do you feel like anyone's pity matching here?
This first round, not so much. I mean, I think honestly, man, I think the Tolu Izzy thing was kind of a pity match. I mean, she wasn't super digging Izzy, but she's like, yeah, I'll give him a chance. I think that was kind of a pity match. But other than that, I don't. Yeah,
I felt like it would be more of a pity match than it actually was, though.
Yeah. I mean, because they did seem to get along. So.
I agree with all that. Yeah, I wasn't sure that they were like a good match for each other romantically, but their friendship, they had a good connection friendship wise. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, right? Like Izzy, you could tell right off the bat that none of these chicks are really going to be romantically into him, and And no matter who he hooked up with, it was going to be more of a friendship level because he just, like you said earlier, he didn't have any game, right? I mean, especially all these young dudes in there, he didn't stand a chance. He was completely not on the right show. Like, he never should have been on the show.
Yeah, he was just, it's not for him.
No.
And this show, like, you know, it doesn't have a high success rate either, so, you know.
Well, we know he's going to come back. Everybody in this show comes back. They all come back, and especially at the end, they all come back to do their boats. So, yeah, he'll be back.
We'll see. But they have the first compatibility challenge, motion in the ocean.
Yeah, man, that was kind of cool. This is shit like Survivor, man. You got just like Jeff out there. All right, everybody, come on in. You know,
It wasn't as good as Survivor.
well, no, of course not. But they look like they're definitely trying to set up it, you know, to make it look like that, you know.
But I like how Dominique's like breaking the strategy down and all that and the science. And Brighton's like, what'd you major in? She's like, engineering.
Right. Yeah. He's like, oh, well.
Oh, okay then.
You go in the middle.
Okay.
You apply.
Yep.
Acceleration here. I'm gonna sit back. Do you not listen to me?
I do, but your explanations have just not been on point. What was your major in college?
Engineering.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that shit was funny.
And they seem pretty competitive. Like, he wants to win, but, you know.
If I remember correctly from Squid Game, Brighton dropped out of college. So, I mean,
Yeah, I
does she
think
have a
so.
degree in engineering? Like, I mean, who's smarter here? I don't know.
Well, he dropped out of college, but he still went to play for university because I think he played football or something, right?
Yeah, well, I thought he dropped out of
Yeah,
that, from
of
that.
college,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she said high school, though.
No, she said college.
I said college.
Yeah.
We'll see what.
Come on, Brighton, keep up, man.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no, Brighton's an
See?
asshole. I mean,
Hold on.
We don't
This
have
is
much time,
exactly
but
what I'm
Harry
talking
and
about.
Elys crush it.
yeah. Oh, dude, they did. Dude, Harry like freaking just
So great.
bulldogged. He like bulldozed through that shit, man.
Yeah, he did. But Brighton gave him a little run for the money. He's like copying his strategy. Like, look what those guys
Well,
are
and
doing.
Brighton's like, yeah, I'm doing what they're doing. And fucking Dominique's like, that's what I was telling you to try to do. He's like, nah, you shut up. He's like, I'm doing what they were doing. So you felt so bad with that poor girl. It made her cry. You know, she starts crying.
Yeah, well, afterwards they're arguing about like what kind of happened. I thought he was being playful, but I don't know. She didn't take it that way.
No, she didn't.
And then-
Because it's like I say, he doesn't know when to quit, man. He keeps pushing it to the asshole level. You know, it's like, dude, just shut up.
yeah.
What's that,
Brighton and
Ashley?
Josh, same. Very competitive. Have to be right all the time.
But so they go to the boardroom. The winners go to the boardroom, and they get to bring in new people. And they only have guys to bring in this go round.
Yep, 4 dudes.
And then what kind of irritates me is Dom from season 1 is in there. Mm-hmm. And like he's the winner. How are you going to bring him back for season? Like I don't like that.
Well, and yeah, I'll tell you what killed me about this, right? So, you know, Dom from season, like I said, he's in there, and Harry's like, yeah, we'll bring him back. Let's bring Dom back. You know, it's like he won season 1, but the chick he won it with cheated on him with Harry, right?
Oh,
and then
yeah?
and then like when everybody comes out, him and Harry are boys and shit, and then Harry is like, oh yeah, you know, Dom came to me man to man. You know, he was a man about it, approached me man to man about this, and we talked about it. I'm like, approached you? I'm like, you fucked his girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
you should have been approaching him man to man.
Yeah,
Apologize to him.
That doesn't make any sense. Like
I was like, you just made
Dominic.
it sound like Dom's a bitch. You know? So,
that's how I got it from that scenario.
exactly.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, they bring him back, and they also bring in Chris from Dated and Related, I think, right?
Yeah, from Data Really. Remember him and his brother on it? Yeah,
And this guy looks like Flynn Rider.
that's right.
And
Like
then
a Prince Charming, is what you keep calling him. No, you weren't digging you some Chris, huh?
I'm not a fan of Chris. No, I don't like Chris. This is where I kind of lose Elys a little bit too, because apparently Elys and Chris are friends, and she's like, he's a good guy or whatever. Chris comes across too much as a boy, as like, I'm just going to go with the next best thing or what's best for me, and like, I don't think he wants a genuine connection with anybody. I don't see that at all.
I think, well, I don't necessarily see that he doesn't want one. I see that he sure as hell ain't doing a good job of finding one, right? Like, he seems almost as lost as Izzy, kind of, you know, at first, you know, when he's in here trying to navigate this whole scenario. And I think his game is just off, and he needs to have some better game, some get in there and start actually, you know, making these chicks like him. So
yeah, so Dom goes on a date with Tolu, and you think that's going to be a good match, and they have a pretty good time.
Yeah,
and then Chris goes on a date with Dominique. Mm-hmm. We got a little Flynn Rider and Moana going on here. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, and their date's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell. I mean, Dominique like wasn't totally digging it. I mean, Chris thought it was cool. Dominique wasn't totally digging it. She's like, yeah, he's like the pretty boy who's boring. She's like, where I've got Brittan over here who's the asshole that I can't stand, but for some reason I'm attracted to that kind of guy.
Yeah, I think Chris is just saying what he needs to say to match up to remain on the show at this point. That's the feeling I got when he was talking to Dominique.
Yeah, exactly.
But, she is paired with Brittan, which she's not too happy with. So that leaves an opening for Chris.
Yeah. Well, Brittan, the funny thing, too, when that all went down, if Brittan would have just shut his mouth, Dominique would have picked him again. Like, they were at that level where she was going to pick him again, then he was just an idiot and fucking kept running his mouth, and he's like, all right, whatever, peace, and got him left before she could even finish what she was saying, but she was going to go with him again.
Yeah, I think so. Now, Chris does make the statement, you got to preheat the oven before you throw it in the microwave.
You want to preheat the oven, you can't just throw it in the microwave, you got to preheat the oven.
And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works.
Like, bro, you got to...
You can throw whatever in the microwave. You don't need to preheat the oven to use the microwave.
Well, that means fucking cook.
And Tolu was like saying some shit about hitting the hammer on the nail, and she was trying to figure out. There were a couple people that were screwing up sayings in this.
But and then this is a funny too, because Izzy takes another shot at Micah.
Oh, this poor guy, and he just gets, dude. Like if the first one wasn't bad enough, this one was just like the nail in the coffin. And this point, and just on camera in front of everybody, he just got embarrassed like crazy, and I felt so bad for that dude, man. I was like, holy shit.
Now, what'd you think about Micah? Just like as he says that, she like looks at Kaz and says, "You want to go chat?"
Right after Kaz had already chose somebody else over her, right? So like Kaz already made her look kind of like a fool in the first episode, and it's like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna go feel something else first, and now she's going back at it again. So. And, so it's like, exactly how it feels for somebody to tell you no, but then you just did the same shit to Izzy again, man. I was like, oh.
This is where Micah loses me a little bit here, because I'm like, just be polite and go have the conversation. And it's totally just like, I mean, you see his face, and I'm just like, he just wants to crawl in a hole, like die at this point in time. It's like, how embarrassing is that?
No, you're right. That'd have been a nice thing to do for her to go talk to him. Just tell him, hey, look, I'm not interested. Like, could have been 2 minutes, like, hey, look, not interested, and then she could have went after Kaz instead of just completely freaking dissing him right there and just going after Kaz.
Yeah, that was awkward. I feel for Izzy here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but and then there's a match swap happening.
Yeah, wife swap.
Everyone's on board.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. They all talked about it. Like, hey, bro, same, we're gonna swap wives, and then the chicks are like, hey, same, we're gonna swap, and everybody's like, yeah, let's do it.
This is brilliant.
Right.
Are you switching?
Yeah.
Go,
Wait,
go.
stop.
We just said the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So
damn.
Stevan swaps.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about the swap? Do you think this is a better situation?
Yeah, I think it was probably a better situation. I mean, you could tell they weren't digging. The two couples who were together really weren't digging each other that much, and and even when they swapped, I was like, this probably ain't gonna work very well for either one of them either. But we'll see.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting, and they're all on board, so no harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and you're right. They had nothing to lose. I don't think there was a strong connection with anybody. Everyone's very friendly with each other, but there was definitely not like a romantic love connection with these couples. So it didn't. No harm, no foul.
Like if you want to get with Xanthi, right, you've got to get to her heart. You've got to be able to schmooze her that way. You can't just be a fuckboy that's just trying to talk up some game to her and stuff like that. It's not going to work. So. And she was hooked up with a fuckboy, right? So she's gonna have to. I mean, there's not very many guys that aren't fuckboys in this that are really gonna give her what she wants. So I don't know how she's gonna find her match on this.
So Tolu matches with Dominique. Izzy becomes the first casualty of the show, and he probably needs to go home at this point after all that's happened.
Yeah. This dude was not on the right show, man. This poor guy.
Yeah, and then we get some drama between Chris and Brittan because. Dominique is having his conversation with Brittan, and that's been going on for too long. So Chris is like, I'm going to go up there and break it up.
Mm-hmm.
But Brittan really ain't having that too much.
No, not at all.
So this is funny because Chris says, like, he's going to give her the space to make that decision. And then when he gives her the space, he's like, that's too much space. I got to get up there. Like,
well, somebody told him to go break in there and break it up, right? Somebody there said it. Hey, go up there and freaking break this shit up. So he's like, all right, screw it. Why not? So,
and I don't think it's a bad move, really. But
the
part of the issue, though, if you just give Brittan some rope, he'll hang himself. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah, no doubt.
And Dominique can't handle masculinity, and she's kind of like, I'm kind of over both of you, but I got to match with someone. So she ends up matching with Chris.
Well, and that's because Brittan walked out himself. Like I said, had Brittan just stayed there and shut his mouth and let her say what she had to say, she would have picked him, and he'd have been still in the game.
She's probably wishing at this point there was like a single lady she could like
Right.
pick into.
She totally is. She mentioned that a couple times, right? So yeah, she's like, at this point, there's too much testosterone and freaking, too much masculinity. She's like, I need a chick. So
Brittan exits as well.
Exit stage right. We'll see him again, of course, because they all come back at the end anyway.
Now we have the kissing challenge, which was popular in the first season.
See, and the thing about this one, it's not hard to tell who you're kissing, right? Especially like Kaz. The dude's he's the only guy with a full beard.
I was thinking the same thing.
He's the guy with a full beard. You saw some of the women reach up, touching the face, so it's like immediately it's Kaz. And the funny thing about this too is, even if the person you're with is the shittiest kisser on the planet, it benefits you to give them a fucking 10 anyway, so you win, right? So so this challenge is cool, but at the same time, it's still kind of rigged, right?
Yeah.
You can play it right to where who you're kissing.
I agree, and they're even wearing necklaces and stuff like that. Probably earrings. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're biased. They're at least trying to be. Like some of the guys, maybe they just screwed up or something.
Right,
I don't know,
right.
but
Oh yeah.
See, the other thing I think of when I'm watching this is like everybody has a unique smell. I think even just like the smell wise, you can smell who you're with, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Then also when it comes to someone like Harry's the tallest guy on there. And if you've got a real short girl, and you're reaching up to like a 10-foot tall person to kiss them, then obviously that's Harry.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You could tell, dude, when Harry was trying to kiss all those girls, man, he was having a problem like trying to get down there to them. I mean, like every single one of them is showing, and it just looked awkward as hell.
yeah, can't they have like an adjustable stand to make it even height or something?
Yeah,
Come on,
no
Netflix.
shit,
What are
man,
we doing?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But
Xanthi ain't having it. She ain't really.
No.
And that's kind of weird. Like you're making out with 5 people back to back. It's kind of gross. But
yeah, oh yeah.
Xanthi's like, nah, I'm not playing this game.
Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder, like, do they give everybody a little bit of Listerine in between each freaking round, or how'd that work?
Yeah, I hope so.
Right.
Well, someone said somebody had bad breath. I can't remember who said it.
No,
I'm
right,
curious to who that is.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was Stevan said that someone had bad breath, and his highest rating was a 6. Like he was pretty critical.
Well, and then he said, well, what's her name? Freaking damn near chipped his tooth, right? So
yeah, from like season 1. I don't know if he's trying to be that or what, but what Micah and Kaz give each other 10s, and they seem like they're being strategic.
No, totally were. Absolutely.
So,
yeah. I mean, Micah did get another 10 from Chris or somebody else gave her a 10 as well. But Micah knew damn well she was kissing Kaz. I'm sure Kaz knew damn well he was kissing Micah.
I mean, they essentially say, like, I think it's this person. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, well, there you go. It's not really that fair.
Right, yeah.
And then, like, Chris gives Dominique a low score, but she gives him a high score. So that's not good when that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was definitely not good. And, of course, Dominique was pissed off about that. She's like, okay, whatever, bro. It's just like, her buddy, that's what she called him.
Yeah, so now this means Micah and Kaz are going to the boardroom. And Micah's looking to shake things up.
Hey, dude, Micah was smart about this. She was an asshole about it because, her and freaking Elys supposed to be friends, but she was smart, very smart.
Yeah, so they end up matching Harry with Jessica. What do we think about this match?
Dude, as soon as they showed that, I was like, yep, Harry's done. It's like, he's totally going Jessica.
But Jessica has a kid, so I'm thinking, like, Harry's a kid? Harry's a kid?
Harry's a fuckboy. He's going to tell Jessica, oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, and the way Jessica went about it, like, hey, don't fuck around with me because I ain't somebody to be fucked with. Great, but he's going to fuck with you anyway.
Yeah, she talks a big game, but then you make a dumb decision.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Harry doesn't give a shit. He just wants to hit it, I mean, bottom line.
I think Harry wants to change. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he wants to change. I just don't think he can. At least not. He's just not mature enough for it. Like, I actually do believe him when he's saying he wants these things. But you put something shiny.
She's
in
fine.
Oh my
like
God!
Jessica.
Yeah, no shit. Are you kidding me? He fucking laughed at Elys. He
he
laughed
literally
at her.
did.
He didn't want to change. He was fucking laughing at her.
He said, if you love him, you gotta let him go.
He does not want to change at all. This dude's a fucking dirtbag. He's a piece of shit. No, he does not.
These women have blinders on.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I agree. I think he wants to. I just don't think he can.
He does not.
I think Jessica will see that.
These women,
she's gonna find out, all right?
I mean, everybody gave Jessica the tea when she walked in that room. It almost at first you thought, oh, she's smart. She's not going to choose him. then she did anyway. But we did say earlier that.
But the men are in power, so you're
Exactly.
limited. If she just would have told the camera, "Look, I got to match with someone, so I'll match with this. I don't like it, but I'll match with them." But that's not what happened, right?
Yeah, and you can kind of guess that's why she did it, but at the same time, you're right. I mean, if she'd have said it, it'd have been much better than making herself look stupid just by choosing. Right?
Well, I think she's feels like she's in a position of power because he backed down and kind of acquiesced to her demands, right? And he said the right things to her, but that's what these guys do.
Well,
right?
and dude, Harry's such a little bitch, man. Like every time one of these chicks calls him out on something, that doesn't make me feel good. How would you feel if somebody said that to you?
My feelings.
My feelings.
But then he's laughing at Elys.
Exactly. It's like, dude, go fuck yourself, man. Like, holy crap! I hate that dude, man. What a dirt.
Man, he's
freaking
got
dirtbag.
Ashley too. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't have me. He doesn't have me.
Oh yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. I don't believe he can change. I wouldn't fall for it. But I do think there's something in him that once just doesn't know how and can't do it. However, I did think it was funny too that he was like, yeah, this connection is great. And like I could see like, oh, she has a kid and I want this family life and all, and that's just amazing. And they're like, who is it? And she's like, Jessica. Her name's Jessica, right? Like he's in love with her, but he couldn't remember her name.
Like, exactly. Yeah.
Now, what do we think about Jessica having a kid being on 2 love shows away from her kid? Is that okay? Or
this show specifically, she's fronting, dude. Yeah. I guarantee she had to watch season 1, right? If you watch season 1, you know what this show's about. It ain't a damn thing about this show about finding love. It ain't. There's nothing in this show about finding love.
So there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So no, at this point, like I've got no real respect for Jessica for coming onto the show because you know damn well what this show's about, and it ain't about finding your freaking perfect match.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course she always does. I mean, she's gorgeous. I mean, Jessica's a knockout. I mean, period.
So now Stevan is matching with Alana, and Alana is a lot.
Oh yeah, she is, man. But I like Alana. She's cool, but she is definitely she
likes to have fun, and she's not afraid to shake things up too. Matter of fact, when she gets to the house, she's like, "I'll tell you exactly how I feel," and I'm like, "You're talking to the women whose men these are." Yeah, they're matched too. So
well, and then it's funny because you see the look on their faces, like Tolu's and something there. You're like, "Oh man, there's some tension going on there."
What did you think about Alara coming back? Excuse me, I said Alana. I meant Alara.
Yeah, Laura. Yeah.
I love her. Like, I mean, I liked her on her show. I like her on this show. She's the real deal. She's just going to tell you how it is. She has good intentions as far as why she wants to be on the show. And like, I think she does want to find a connection with somebody, but she's not going to fuck around either. She's like, this is what I want. I'm going for it.
Yeah, no, she ain't afraid, man. She ain't pulling no punches. Like, she's not afraid to step on other women's toes if she has to get what she's wanting. You know? So. Which in this show,
I think when she first came on the other show, that's what the first thing she did.
Yeah, exactly. And in these types of shows, that's how you got to play it. This show's just a game. Like I said, it's not about finding love. It's a freaking game. So you need to play it to win, right? So.
Yeah, but Harry should have stayed with Elys because they would have probably been the perfect match. They matched early. You stay the whole time. Yeah, you win.
But again, Harry's not thinking with his head, and he never does, right? So, Harry's just a freaking douchebag.
Yeah.
He thinks with a head.
Now, but I will say, as bad as I felt for Elys, it's like you fucking deserved it because you stuck with him too long, right? You were this dude for a week. You kept sticking it out with him, thinking he's gonna, okay, cool, we're cool. It's like you should have known the first opportunity he had to jump ship, he was going to, right?
And that's what he did. Like, it's fine when the women had the power, but as soon as he had some power,
so I mean, so as pissed off as she was, and as screwed over as it was, like it's like you walked into it yourself too. You knew better. Like at the very beginning, you all shared the dirt on Harry. You knew the kind of guy he was, and you let yourself fall for it anyway.
So the men start to lose focus here. And then Harry gaslights Elys.
Oh, bad. Oh, bad.
He's a master gaslighter.
Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. And what a freaking douche, man. And like I said, he laughed at her. He fucking just laughed at her. I was like, holy cow.
And this kind of surprised me. Dom kind of says he wants to explore more with Tolu. That surprised me a little bit.
Well, I mean, it didn't surprise me just because, right now, he's still kind of new, so he's still filling stuff out. So it didn't surprise me, but I don't think he's going to stay with Tolu. I don't think that's going to work a long time.
And then Chris is kind of out there, and him and Dominique are not doing well. He asked her about her bisexualness, and she was offended by that. But hey, the men have the power. If she's playing the game, maybe she just wants to make things good until next round or something.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe he said some shit out, that we didn't get to see from what they showed us. From what they showed us, the questions he was asking, I didn't think were that bad. I mean, he's just completely, absolutely curious about, how her bisexuality and stuff, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, being curious about it.
I don't think it was the question, but I think she knew what his intent was.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
but she seemed very put off by it, like on the, the one-on-one camera thing. So maybe he was saying some shit they just didn't even show us, So I don't know, but you knew from the get-go that wasn't going to work. Like those two just didn't seem like the right fit together, and it didn't surprise me at all.
So Micah and Kaz's plan works.
Oh, dude, big time.
Chaos ensues.
Right, when Elys was like pissed because she was like, "There's no way that Micah freaking didn't do this on purpose." She's like, "Me and Micah were tight. We're supposed to be cool," and then she goes and pulls this shit. So
she's playing the game,
and you're right, she did.
And Elys and Chris pair up, which I think is smart.
Very smart.
I don't think they're into each other, but they want to stay on the show and see who else is going to come on and stuff like that.
And Elys flat out said that. She said, "Look, Chris is my, she's like, we're friends. We're friends." Or she's like, "There's no romantic relationship there whatsoever." She's like, "I'm not into him like that. We're friends." She said that early on, right? So at this point, you're right. It's very smart for them just to pair up, just to stay on the show and kind of fill things out.
And we've seen friends pair up to stay on the show from season 1. So,
yeah, exactly.
And you can go somewhat far with that attitude. So as long as you're loyal to the person.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you, there was one funny moment, dude, with Dom, man. I don't remember who it was he was talking to, but they're talking, and he's like, yeah, we're like, John Wick and Barbie, and I'm like, it's like
John Wick and Barbie.
Yeah, remember he's like, yeah, we're like John Wick and Barbie. Calling himself John Wick. I'm like, yeah, if John Wick had painted fingernails, a mesh shirt, and freaking and metal on his face, sure.
I don't even get the comparison.
Yeah, I didn't either. But I thought that was funny, man. I was like, oh, Dom.
So I want to know what y'all's opinion is about everybody bonding together over foreskin. You didn't bring that up.
The foreskin.
Of course I do.
Am I like the odd man out right now?
Yes.
Really?
Oh shit, that was hilarious, man.
Yeah, that was that's what Brighton's idea, right?
Yeah. Well, Brittan kept pushing it
to
on
Chris.
Yeah, because Chris is like, he's like, I got foreskin, don't the rest of y'all? And they're like, no. And he was like, oh shit, I'm the only one. And then Brian's like, bro, prove it. And then Chris said, yeah, I can prove it. And he was like, but no, do it. Prove it. And then everybody's like, kind of get a word out. Like, bro, you just want to whip his junk out right now? Like, what the hell you doing,
Yeah, and
man?
then Izzy brings it up.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I don't know. Ashley, on the spot, 4 against foreskin.
That's right.
So.
Foreskin or no foreskin, Ashley?
But
I have an opinion. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I'm sure everybody does, right?
It's very similar to the last season, which you would expect. So.
Oh yeah, so far, yeah.
But I'm looking. I like Alara coming on. I think she's fun, so I think she could add an element. And I'm waiting to see the Jessica Harry thing. Mm-hmm. What happens there?
Yeah. And I like Dom. Dom's a cool dude, and we'll see what happens with him this time around. Hopefully, he doesn't allow himself to.
He's a pretty good guy. I just didn't really want to see him back because he was like the main guy from the first season. So I've seen enough of him.
And like I said, the way that whole conversation went with the stuff that went down with Harry and all that, and it's like now they're buddies. I just thought he looked like a complete bitch because of that.
I will say right now the men look terrible.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm one of these women, I don't know who I would choose.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Ashley, what do you think about that? What guy at this point stands out?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I agree. There's not a guy that stands out to me. I can't think of one, honestly, that I think is there for the right intentions, that I could trust. I wouldn't trust any of them. Dom, I think, is a very loyal person, but he made the comment that he feels like he gets walked on. And so he's trying to be a little more reserved and not be the guy that gets taken advantage of. So I don't know that he can be that person. So he's probably the only one that I could think I would trust on there. But he's trying not to be that guy, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. He did. He said that. He's like, he was having a conversation with Tolu or somebody. And he was like, yeah, normally I'm like the puppy dog. I'm very loyal. And that's come back to bite me in the ass in the past. So I'm kind of trying to change it up a little bit here. So
yeah, I mean, I think you have to be smart, especially on a show like this where you got a match every week. And it's like, you feel good this week if you're a guy, but next week you're going to be, sweating it. So
exactly.
And loyalty demands loyalty, I think. So
yeah.
But and I wonder if Tolu's biting. She's kicking herself in the ass because she let go of Izzy, and now she just kind of got passed on by Dominique a little bit, or Dom. So, maybe she just should have kept Izzy around.
Yeah, I mean, Izzy would have been Tolu's safe bet. She could have kept him around and strung him along until she found a real connection with somebody else, but she didn't. Yeah, she screwed up going with Dom, I think.
Yeah. So what female would you choose at this point? Who's standing out to you? What do you like?
At this point, I mean, probably still Elys to an extent. I mean, I love Jessica. I do. I mean, Jessica's freaking awesome. And she'd be cool, I think. But yeah, I don't know, man. Her choosing Harry just makes you think, wow, you're an idiot. But at the same time, I think she did it because, just to stick around for this week, right?
I like Elys and Xanthi at this point.
Oh, Xanthi's great. I forgot about Xanthi. Yeah, she's awesome. I do like Xanthi a lot.
But I don't know if she's going to stick around. If she's going to be a curmudgeon about.
Right.
Who making out and doing all this other kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, like I said, she's got to find that right person that's actually going for her heart, because if you're just going for her, trying to hook up with her, it ain't gonna happen.
I think that's the better way to ask the question. Which guy or girl do you like to win the competition, or guy or girl do you like to actually try to find their perfect match? And Xanthi, I don't think really, because of the quality and the type of guys that are coming on the show, she's not going to find someone for that reason. But I do root for her. She's the best person to want to find the perfect match.
Yeah.
I just don't know that they're going to give her a quality guy for it.
Why didn't she explore Izzy? That would have been the most common sense one to
me. She probably wasn't digging it. She probably just wasn't into him,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Izzy would have been the best bet for her, for sure. For any woman there that's actually looking for a good, loyal dude, Izzy would have been the guy to go to.
Yeah, and if you're a guy that chooses her, what do you got to look forward to? Like just hanging out and what?
Just talking, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
and none of these F boys are freaking here for that reason, right?
Exactly.
So they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. And that's the thing too. Like, she should have known. Anybody coming on this show should know damn well that you're not going to find your perfect match. They bring it. I mean, even in season 1, you bring a lot of F boys, a lot of F girls on here, and it's all about just hooking up and trying to play a game to win. It ain't about finding your perfect match. So, and she, coming on this show, any freaking person with any common sense should know that.
I like her.
I do like her, absolutely. Yeah, Xanthi's awesome.
Yeah, she's my girl too.
There you have it, folks. That is first of all, that was episodes 1 through 3, right? So they dropped 6 episodes, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot of damn episodes. So they dropped episodes 1 through 3, which we just did. We're gonna do another video on 4 through 6 here pretty soon. But so far, shit, man, it's just pretty much just like season 1, right? It's like who do you really root for?
This to me is like a filler between like Love Is Blind, The Ultimatum, and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's fine. It's not as good as those shows in my mind, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, and really, it's because they're throwing all these people mixed from all the different Netflix shows, in here into one. So it's entertaining, right? You get your entertainment value out of it, but damn well you're not getting any kind of real love connections out of it, right? So, but hey guys, as always, let us know what you think about it. Who you rooting for here? You're sad that Izzy got kicked off, but hey, hit that like and subscribe. We'll check you guys in our next review in a couple of hours, I guess.